Jeremiah chapter 34 begins with a message from God to King Zedekiah of Judah. God tells Zedekiah that Jerusalem will fall to the Babylonians, and that Zedekiah himself will be captured and taken to Babylon, where he will die. Despite Zedekiah's efforts to resist, God declares that the city will be handed over to the enemy. The Babylonians will destroy the city and burn it, and there will be no escape for the people of Judah. This prophecy serves as a stark warning, highlighting the coming devastation due to the people's disobedience and failure to repent. In the second part of the chapter, the focus shifts to a specific covenant that Zedekiah had made with the people of Judah. During a time of impending judgment, Zedekiah had made a covenant to free all the Hebrew slaves in the land, following the law of the Jubilee year, which required the release of all indentured servants. However, when the Babylonians temporarily withdrew from the siege of Jerusalem, the people changed their minds and re-enslaved their fellow Israelites. God condemns this breach of covenant, as it was a clear violation of His law. He condemns the people for their lack of faithfulness and for their willingness to exploit one another. God further declares that because of their disobedience, He will allow them to be punished. The people of Judah, including the leaders, will face the consequences of their actions. The very same destruction they brought upon others will be brought upon them. The cities of Judah, including Jerusalem, will be struck with sword, famine, and pestilence, and they will fall to the hands of the Babylonians. This judgment will serve as a direct consequence of their refusal to obey God's commands and to honor the covenant they had made. The chapter concludes with God's reaffirmation that the people will experience the full force of His judgment because they violated His commands. Despite having made a covenant to set their slaves free, they went back on their word, and now, God says, they will face the consequences of breaking their promise. In contrast, God makes it clear that He will show mercy to the righteous, and those who fear and obey Him will be spared from destruction. Thus, the chapter underscores the importance of covenant fidelity, the consequences of disobedience, and God's unchanging commitment to justice. Let's now read Jeremiah chapter 34. The word which came unto Jeremiah from the Lord, when Nebuchadnezzar king of Babylon, and all his army, and all the kingdoms of the earth of his dominion, and all the people, fought against Jerusalem, and against all the cities thereof, saying, Thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel, Go and speak to Zedekiah king of Judah, and tell him, Thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will give this city into the hand of the king of Babylon, and he shall burn it with fire. And thou shalt not escape out of his hand, but shalt surely be taken, and delivered into his hand, and thine eyes shall behold the eyes of the king of Babylon, and he shall speak with thee mouth to mouth, and thou shalt go to Babylon. Yet hear the word of the Lord, O Zedekiah king of Judah, Thus saith the Lord of thee, Thou shalt not die by the sword. But thou shalt die in peace, and with the burnings of thy fathers, the former kings which were before thee, so shall they burn odors for thee, and they will lament thee, saying, Ah Lord! For I have pronounced the word, saith the Lord. Then Jeremiah the prophet spake all these words unto Zedekiah king of Judah in Jerusalem. When the king of Babylon's army fought against Jerusalem, and against all the cities of Judah that were left, against Lachish, and against Azekah, for these defense cities remained of the cities of Judah. This is the word that came unto Jeremiah from the Lord, after that the king Zedekiah had made a covenant with all the people which were at Jerusalem, to proclaim liberty unto them. That every man should let his manservant, and every man his maidservant, being in Hebrew or in Hebrew-s, go free, that none should serve himself of them, to wit, of a Jew his brother. Now when all the princes, and all the people, which had entered into the covenant, heard that every one should let his manservant, and every one his maidservant, go free, that none should serve themselves of them any more, then they obeyed, and let them go. But afterward they turned, and caused the servants and the handmaids, whom they had let go free, to return, and brought them into subjection for servants and for handmaids. Therefore the word of the Lord came to Jeremiah from the Lord, saying, Thus saith the Lord, the God of Israel, I made a covenant with your fathers in the day that I brought them forth out of the land of Egypt. out of the house of bondmen, saying, At the end of 7 years let ye go every man his brother in Hebrew, which hath been sold unto thee, and when he hath served thee 6 years, thou shalt let him go free from thee. But your fathers hearken not unto me, neither incline their ear. And ye were now turned, and had done right in my sight, in proclaiming liberty every man to his neighbor, and ye had made a covenant before me in the house which is called by my name. But ye turned and polluted my name, and caused every man his servant, and every man his handmaid, whom ye had set at liberty at their pleasure, to return, and brought them into subjection, to be unto you for servants and for handmaids. Therefore thus saith the Lord, Ye have not hearkened unto me, in proclaiming liberty, every one to his brother, and every man to his neighbor. Behold, I proclaim a liberty for you, saith the Lord, to the sword, to the pestilence, and to the famine, and I will make you to be removed into all the kingdoms of the earth. And I will give the men that have transgressed my covenant, which have not performed the words of the covenant which they had made before me, when they cut the calf in twain, and passed between the parts thereof. The princes of Judah, and the princes of Jerusalem, the eunuchs, and the priests, and all the people of the land, which passed between the parts of the calf. I will even give them into the hand of their enemies, and into the hand of them that seek their life, and their dead bodies shall be for meat unto the fowls of the heaven, and to the beasts of the earth. And Zedekiah king of Judah and his princes will I give into the hand of their enemies, and into the hand of them that seek their life, and into the hand of the king of Babylon's army, which are gone up from you. Behold, I will command, saith the Lord, and cause them to return to this city, and they shall fight against it, and take it, and burn it with fire, and I will make the cities of Judah a desolation without an inhabitant. This ends our reading of Jeremiah chapter 34.